The Bulls decided to say, we're not going to be outdone by the Bears in the sky. We firing these dudes. You said Scott is going to be a food influencer. Yeah, I'm going to be like this. I'm be hitting the microphone like this. That's what I'm be doing on Instagram. But um, they decided to fire AK and West Side West. This I did not expect. And what was funny is because I feel like we spoke it up. Me, you, Mikey, Dante were talking in the group chat about, what's going to be the next move for the Bulls. Are they going to actually get rid of him? And that's why when you said they fired him, I thought you was trolling because we were literally just talking about it. I was like, ain't no way to happen that quickly. So I say this, and I said this in my video on my YouTube channel. Great move. I'm glad they did it. Glad they did it. Needed to be done. 6 years wasted. On top of the other 22 years that has been wasted as my time as a Bulls fan. But good move. But what's next? Now there's a lot of different ways that could go. I haven't really heard too many legitimate candidates yet, but there's been some names thrown out. Mike Dunleavy Jr., which I think would be peak Bulls, and that'll be the quickest way to continue my Bullcott. Shout out my boy Sylvie for the word Bullcott. And there's Bob Myers, which I was informed by my manager the other day that Bob Myers really didn't do anything with the drafting of the people who really made moves towards.
Okay,
so I don't know how I feel about that anymore.
Okay, I was not wrong in my thinking. Keep going.
Yeah, because he had texted me because we were talking about it, and I was like, Bob Myers. He's like, man, and I'm trying to figure out a way to say this without saying who he worked for, but basically, he knows from a very, very reliable source that he did not draft those players.
No.
So the only thing he was really involved in was, the Andrew Wiggins deal, I think Jordan Poole and stuff like that. So real, real low level deal. He inherited Clay and Steph, and I don't think he actually drafted Draymond either. Nah. So I don't know how I feel about that one anymore. But here's one that made me go, But also at the same time, the Masai Ujiri president, Luau Deng, general manager combo. And this is why I'm like that, that gif of that white girl and she's like has a drink and she's like,
Yep.
That's me. If you listen to the audio and not watching the video, it's the gif of the white girl and she's like drinking something and like she likes it and then she changes her mind. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. He didn't really bring KD in. That was Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West.
Said Jerry West had to stop Bob from trading Clay for Kevin Love. Yes, I remember that. I remember that one. It said, get ready to speak Rob Pelinka. You laughing, but that can happen. I'm laughing, but that can happen. Rob Pelinka. I ain't gonna say that. I will do things I don't need to be doing if Rob Pelinka is at the Advocate Center. But that's kind of intriguing because I like Masai Ujiri. I think he built a lot of good teams. I love his aggressiveness to go get a Kawhi Leonard and not thinking about the feelings of the other people on the team, and it worked out. Kawhi left, but you got a championship. He's forever good in the country of Canada because of that. And it's not like he built bad teams before that. He just kept running into LeBron James. So that would be something that I'm like, What I'm not really rocking with is Luau Deng as general manager. That's why I'm like, just because what's his history in front offices?
Basketball Africa?
I'm not going to really say what's on my mind.
Or so like didn't he do like one of the Nigerian, did he want to do one of the African teams for the Olympics?
Yeah, but that don't mean you should be general manager.
I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just trying to figure out what he do. Because I don't.
I don't know what he did. He said, let Pelinka end up running Bull. They don't get them threatening notes from me in Italian. I don't know if Pelinka's Italian. Palinka is white
Man,
privilege. That's what it is.
I wish the Bulls had enough money to just go call Sam Presti and be like, "Yo, what you want?"
Yes. Big bank. You know what? No, as a matter of fact, the Bulls do have enough money. What are we talking about?
They
The
do.
Bulls do have enough money to get because that stuff don't count against your cap.
I
The
know.
Bulls
I
got
know.
money
I'm still. I know
to
it don't
get.
count. I don't know.
They're not gonna do it, but they got the money.
But I wish I that's something that I would just be like, yo, okay. Here's the messed up thing. What I'm about to say. I remember back in the day when GMs was GMing and assistant
Yeah.
GMs was GMing, so you could just go identify some candidates and be like, yo, let's go ahead and go out there and get that person. But now the way that the leagues is shaping up, you have people that work with agents that's getting jobs. You have people that work for Nike and Adidas and stuff getting jobs. You have people that work in sports media getting some of these jobs. They fired the vice president and the GM. So you might be looking for somebody that could do dual, or you probably looking for two people. So when you look at this, there's a lot of people name like I'm not good with the Mike Dunleavy situation too, because they ain't been nothing in Golden State since he been there too now. They made some dumbass decisions over there since he's been there too. There's some names that I've learned about, like my man from Boston, Mike Zarin. He's the VP of basketball operations, and he's the number two guy. Brad Stevens is the number one guy. And I do wonder, even like, is Brad Stevens the one who's really making all the decisions? He's the face of it. Is he the Theo of the Boston Celtics, like how Theo was for the Whites, for the Red Sox, and stuff like that? I guess without knowing some of these names, they need to look at the number twos as some of the most successful organizations long term, not short term, long term. So you look at teams that's had long term success. You look at who's somebody in OKC that you could pluck. You go look at somebody from Boston you could pluck. Who are the successful people in those? And then you go from there. It's hard for me to say who I would want to be in that position because you're not hearing these names like you did last year, but who, or years prior, excuse me, no, like 10, 15 years ago. But what I would just hope that the Bulls do is find somebody who has a long-term solution. They're not going to give up control. Michael Reinsdorf is not going to be like, yo, here, you run the show. Because if that's the case, Billy Donovan wouldn't be getting the pub that he's getting right now. Nothing against Billy Donovan.
I got some
Just
takes on Billy when
just
you're done.
just saying that if you're bringing in somebody to run this organization, he's going to bring in whoever he wants to bring in. If he like Billy, then he like Billy, but he shouldn't be handcuffed to this person. That's already going to get a couple of people out there because they're going to want to bring somebody that they know that they're familiar with. They need to have a long term plan for this team. Team's going to probably have two first round picks this year if the Portland Trail Blazers go to the playoffs. They got every second round pick for the next. It feel like they got every second round pick for the next 15 years. You got Matas over there. You got Freak Man Giddy that's over there. You got a decent young core over there. You need somebody that's also, and this is something that I don't think has been talked about enough. You really just gonna need somebody that's really connected with this league. People
You
always
need
talk about
somebody
free
who's
agents that's not coming
connected
to the Bulls. You
to
need
the
somebody that
21st
people
century
love. Yes.
way of doing business in the NBA.
You need somebody that these players know and they respect and they love. That's why somebody at one of these or agent organizations might be straight that want to get into this. But you need somebody that's connected to the players. That's how you're going to get people to Chicago. You can't get some random nerdy pencil pusher because he's good with analytics to be the VP or the GM because he's good at those. Because then when you start talking to some of these players, they come like, who this L7 ass dude that's trying to get me to come to the Bulls? No, you need somebody with swag. You need somebody with charisma. That's why that's why old dude at Toronto is somebody that I will rock with because he has that along with knowing how to build a championship team in the 21st century. You go out there and just say, I want to go get this pencil pusher, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. You need somebody who's good at the three. somebody who's good at evaluating talent, who knows analytics. Like y'all know, I'm anti-analytics in sports, but that's just because I'm a fan in media. General managers need to damn near know what's going on. Analytics are for players and general managers, okay, not for fans. So you need somebody who knows that. You need somebody who doesn't care about spending money. That's the number two thing. One thing I think, as much as I couldn't stand Garpax, that you couldn't say about them, they knew how to draft. They knew how to draft. It was weekend. They had great drafts. Their problem was free agency, was trades, was not adding on to the good drafts that they had. So you need somebody who's good with player movement. And like you said, you need somebody who's cool, bro. Like Masai Ujiri, players want to come play with him. He knows what these players think. He knows how they're gonna want to move, what kind of team they want to be on. You need that. And this goes to the Billy Donovan thing. Because I know a lot of fans are upset about the Bulls even wanting to still be involved with Billy Donovan. I always said through these last couple of years or 5 years, however long Billy's been head coach. I mean, obviously the coach takes some blame because he's a coach, but this is a front office issue. I don't think Billy is a bad coach. I don't think Billy's great either. And all respect to him being in the Basketball Hall of Fame, but we all know he's in the Basketball Hall of Fame because he had 2 great years in Florida, where they won back to back with those Joakim Noah, Al Horford, who's my man, Corey, who's dude, he played for the Timberwolves.
Um,
He was a shooter. I think he was like their 2 guard.
um,
His
damn, I
name
forgot dude's
is
name.
escaping me. I can see him right now. His name is escaping me. But that era of Florida Gators is why
Corey Brewer, Corey Brewer, Corey
Corey
Brewer, Brewer,
Brewer.
Brewer, Brewer, Brewer.
No, it wasn't Corey Brewer. Was it Corey
Yeah, they
Brewer?
went to Florida. Yeah,
Okay, it was Corey
it
Brewer.
was Joakim Noah, Al Horford, and Corey Brewer.
Okay, you're right. Corey Brewer, yeah. So that's what they gotta do. Do I have faith that Michael Reinsdorf is gonna get the right guy? Absolutely not. But I am open to being wrong. I don't have a problem if they bring um, Billy back or even put him in the front office. I personally think if you're gonna make a move like this, don't half-ass it. Go full clean sheet. Full clean sheet. Start over. New front office. New head coach. Let your new press or general manager come in and pick their coach because
Yeah.
there's always gonna be animosity when it's not your guy. Then we said this 2 years ago before Caleb got drafted. The your guy theory is a real thing in sports. So peep that. Um, Good comment right here about Orlando. Austin Brown is the name that Dan Bernstein said he's been hearing a lot. He's in charge of the basketball division at CAA. That's interesting. I don't know much about this gentleman, but if you work in the CAA, that means you have relationships with these players.
Yep.
So that would be something that we just talked about. Whatever the move is, I just hope it's a smart move. This is not going to be something that I'm going to overreact to, even if they do, spend money on Masai Ujiri. The only way that they can make a hire that I'm going to get like hype about is a hire that's not going to happen, and that's plucking Sam Presti from OKC. And even then, you're going to have patience because we know Sam Presti like taking the long route. This ain't gonna be something that's gonna be quick. And Sam Presti is gonna be running the ship. Now, granted, you're gonna have an easier time trying to bring free agents to Chicago than Oklahoma City. So that might help him in his favor a little bit. Overall, they just gotta make the best signing and hope that 5 years from now we talk about the Bulls as a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference and
So
not talking about
so
hires and fires.
so Austin Brown is from the crib too.
Interesting.
So that's another thing, and they said that he actually interviewed with the Bulls before they hired AK and everything. So and he a brother
He,
from what
he,
it looked
he,
like.
he,
So
And so, look, I
yeah,
say this: my last message to Michael Reinsdorf: build your own legacy, brother. Don't be like your penny pinching father. All right, build your
yeah,
own legacy, brother. You should want to say, "Screw what my daddy did. I want to be known as the guy who is rebuilt one of the most iconic franchises in not just the NBA, but in sports. The Bulls are a global brand. And the fact that they're still a global brand, when they've been god awful for going on 30 years, tells you a lot about the staying power of that brand. We said this last year when the Bears made the playoffs. People forgetting just how much of a Bears town this is. People forget just how much people love the Bulls. When the Bulls travel to LA, I've been to Laker games when they played the Bulls. I've been to Clipper games when they played Bulls. It's 50-50 crowd because the Bulls have a big fan base. So
Mm-hmm.
please take advantage of that. Do I have faith they will? Absolutely not. But I would love to be proven wrong. Any final thoughts before we move on to the most salacious story that we
Hey
have to talk
man,
about?
I'm just hoping they make the right decision because, as I said on some dude pod, I'll say it here too. The Bulls are the most irrelevant franchise in Chicago right now. The Bears are ahead of them. The Cubs are ahead of them
Are
because
you
of
sure they're
be,
more irrelevant than the White Sox?
Yep, because the White Sox future prospects look better than the Bulls right now. You
Okay,
got the number one
fair play.
pick you got the number one pick in the college draft that's coming up.
Yeah, we do.
And you do have some hope within the farm system too. And just off of the fact that there's a
You
potential new
got Colson
stadium is coming up.
Montgomery. You
You got
got the
Coastal
Southside
Montgomery.
Samurai.
Yep, right, and you got him right there, and just the fact that they're even just a small buzz of them potentially having a new stadium, and the Abisha brothers having a piece of them. Just off of that, they are more relevant for future than the Bulls are right now. The Chicago Fire, no, the 78. You ain't even got to say no more. But adding to the fact that they are looking at international people coming into the team and all that stuff.
Brother, they get Neymar. You will see me at that stadium every weekend.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, tell me what the Bulls got. They ain't got no Caleb Williams. They ain't got no number one pick
They
right
ain't got
now.
no
We don't know
Connor
what the luck.
Bedard.
They ain't got no Connor Bedard. They ain't got none of that. They have nothing. 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 They
It's
are the
true.
most irrelevant franchise in Chicago sports right now. And this to me is the most important offseason in Bulls history.
Yeah.
Why? Is because not only are they are relevant, it's because this legacy for the Bulls is strictly built off of one man and six rings. It is built off of Mike. The legacy of the Chicago Bulls is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. They're
Yep.
still living off of that. But after a while, as my son get older, as these younger kids get older, they're going to be looking at a Bulls team with no success. At least
Bro,
some
we
of us
15
had Derrick
years
Rose.
removed from the last Eastern Conference Finals appearance with Derrick Rose.
Exactly. So this team is irrelevant. And people got to understand that this team is irrelevant. The Bulls have to understand that this team is irrelevant. And they really have no success outside of Michael Jordan. So these fans that's coming up, they're not going to care about the Bulls because what is it to be happy about other than somebody that you're still living off of who not only ain't playing your uniform since 1998, he's seeing success as a NASCAR owner.
Yep. Yep. Get it together, Bulls.